I'm a bird, mother. I'm a bird.
Disney adults are the worst.
So, Disney. Disney.
Okay. I'm joking.
Okay, bro. You had one shot. You blew it.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. You look ugly as f today. Pop that zit on your right cheek and adopt a middle hairline part if you have any hair left.
I wish that would have like, yeah, I don't even have I don't have any of it. I feel excluded. I don't like it. Also, what's that 8 head? No, be nice, Lifu, be nice.
That's me.
Oh.
Look at my forehead.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I have a forehead, like an actual forehead. I'm good.
Oh
I'm
my
chill.
god.
I'm chill. No. I'm chill.
Left for that receding hairline, but as an adult now, I do not remember watching that many Disney movies as a child. The only ones I do remember and rewatched over and over because for some reason I thought they would have a different ending. Yes, as a child I was just as delusional and coping harder than the Titanfall community, thinking the third one is coming out. Yeah, if you think—
I don't think at any point as a child, I think if I rewatch it, it's gonna be a different ending. Is it even possible to think that?
He thought that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, royalty, bro.
EA isn't going to completely bukkake your favourite game or franchise with a 100% win rate, you are delusional. Look what they've done with Battlefront 2. All they had to do was improve the anti-cheat
That was Battlefront. Oh god.
and add the most minuscule chode of content, and the game would essentially receive a mercy res, but they won't. Anyway, bit of a tangent there, but I haven't watched that many Disney movies, especially recently. But the absolute peak of my childhood that I will go back and watch every now and again, at least from the animated ones, is obviously Chicken Little, Bolt, Big Hero 6, Lilo and Stitch, and
Big Hero 6 was good.
Did you just say Lilo and Stitch?
Yes, he's British.
I'm gonna choke him out.
He's British.
I don't care.
Lion King. Those are the best Disney movies. I'm not even going to say that's my opinion because I know I'm right. But whilst I can say I have a few favourite movies from Disney, that's where my love for it stops. I personally—
Not gonna lie, Loki, that was fire hat. Like Loki, the hat was fire.
That hat is pretty fire.
that's where my love for it stops. I personally prefer DreamWorks, but there are others that take Disney a lot more seriously.
Wait, POV, you're just a white gal who got overwhelmed by the power of the Polynesian culture while watching Moana 2? POV, me leaving. What the hell was that? The hell did I just read?
Seriously, to the point where they potentially base their entire personality around it, and probably love Disney more than the assumed target demographic for most of their movies, and that is Walt Disney adults. Now look, I'm not going to hate someone that likes something as an adult that many assume is for children. If that was a thing, the Five Nights at Freddy's community would be in utter shambles right now.
Yeah, but like, okay, Five Nights at Freddy, isn't that like more like the what e-girls and e-boys play? No?
I don't know. I'm not too deep into the.
Am I like not enough like internet brain rotted to understand it?
And
You're
as
not
Viva
alone.
Pinata's #1 fan, and I still think they should remaster it or release it on Steam so I don't have to get the fucking Game Pass to play it, I would look pretty stupid. But you know, you can't hate a man for having a hobby. Even though many of you probably have more disappointing hobbies, I imagine like a D&D campaign set in the My Little Pony universe.
Wait, that's a thing?
Stop.
Okay, again, not gonna lie, Loki kind of fire.
Not fire at all. Don't listen to her.
I used to play with My Little Ponies when I was a kid.
That's different. That was before they did all of this.
But when you make that hobby your entire personality, it's the only thing you think about, it's the only thing you talk about, you've constantly customized yourself to be a free walking advertisement for it, and you share all of those things online with platforms like TikTok, some people, especially outside that community, are going to be bewildered by your infatuation towards said subject. especially if you're a bit older. That's where the reputation of Disney adults see themselves today, at least.
What was that? Disney adults aren't cringe. Also, Disney Yeah, no, that's kind of cringe. Not gonna lie.
There was a comment when it was showing the TikTok symbol. I'm too European for this. I was like, wait, that's Lifu. I'm too European for this.
Wait, hold on.
In the very beginning, she used to say that all the time.
I'm too European.
By the way,
Was
she used
that
to say
me?
that. She used to say that a lot.
Especially if you're a
Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, my first experience when we started going to get junk food in US, and they would hand this mega cup.
Yeah, the large cup. She's like, yo, what the frick is this? I can't drink a quarter of this.
And I'll be like, that's what I would be like. I'm too European for this.
She still is. She can never finish it. She
Bit-
takes like a few sips, and then she's like, okay, here.
Big gulp? No, I don't think it's even a big gulp. It's just
It-
large.
It's just a large size at like a fast food chain.
For me, it's a mega cup.
older. That's where the reputation of Disney adults see themselves today, at least online. But first, what is and what qualifies you to be a Disney adult?
Do you want to build a snowman?
Now, the
I hate that song with a passion.
online definition of a Disney adult, according to Urban Dictionary, is a millennial adult with or without kids that can't stop talking about Disney, including the movies and the park. Even if they do have kids, they're still way more obsessed with it than their kids ever would be. I must admit, Urban Dictionary doesn't always get it right, but they did get it right this time, and it's the top definition for this right now. But yes, a Disney adult is someone that is obsessed with the Disney movies and or the Disney theme park, to the point where they can be said to be borderline obsessed, and are
Right.
very vocal about their interest in this topic. Where you can
I'm
find
scared.
videos on most platforms of them expressing how much they love anything Disney, and yeah, they don't have the best reputation. Many people view
I don't get it.
I honestly don't understand this.
Am I like too emotionally dead? Like, yes, I used to watch a lot of Disney, especially like a kid who's like constantly at home, cannot even go to school because constantly sick. I used to watch a lot of Disney. But even then, I don't get this.
this as cringe, but some Disney adults are so infatuated with things like the Disney theme park where they will visit it multiple times per year, which can be very expensive for some of the parks. I think the food itself is like a down payment on a car, and a bottle of Dasani water is $4.
Oh.
At that point, they should be
Oh, we're
paying
cooked.
you to drink it. Yeah, Dasani water is complete dog shit. On top of the fact there are multiple tiers of tickets you can get, like somewhere you can skip the lines, but these people go quite regularly, which I kind of don't understand. I feel like within 3 days you probably explored everything in the theme parks, and probably don't need to go again for at least a few years, but these people go multiple times per year and never get bored of it. It's to the point where they have their own terms within the community, like Disney bounding, which I thought I was dyslexic for a second there. I
What?
thought it was bonding, not bounding. Disney bounding is the process of dressing like a Disney character using regular clothes, but I wouldn't look up the definition on
I mean, I don't exactly have a problem with that. Like, when you go to Disney, something inspired by a Disney princess to wear to Disney, I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. I think that's fine. Bro, I would have disowned my parents for that. I mean, I'm not talking about like dressing up like full blown as a princess, you know? I'm talking about like wearing something like inspired by it. I think that's fine.
Urban Dictionary, because on one of the definitions it adds an extra part to it. Because as said, Urban Dictionary is not always right. They also have their own lingo apparently, like cast members, referring to any Disney employee, and backstage referring to areas off limits to park guests, and rope drop, which is the most important part of the day, where the park actually opens, and I imagine it's on the same level as the night release of Halo 3,
What?
like people camping outside from the crash
No way. People do that?
I'm sure they do.
Crack of dawn just to get in the park early. Some of these words I don't think you'd have to be a hard fan of Disney to understand, like the article suggests. Some of them are very self-explanatory, like dark ride is a term for rides that are in the dark, and signature dining is a term for anywhere that serves food. But there are some interesting ones.
So stupid.
Like Goodnight Kiss, where if you stay all the way to closing time, you can see the Goodnight Kiss on the Cinderella Castle, which is actually interesting. And some of these are going to be
That's kind of cute, actually. Wow, that's cute.
Yeah.
totally useful in your comms when you're at Disneyland. It may even rival some of the CSGO comms, like Banana. There are also hidden Mickeys, which are scattered around the park, and people find it fun to find them. And there's websites and videos to show you where some of them are, which actually reminds me of following a Gorad Crovey Easter egg walkthrough.
Hi guys, Mr. Waffles here, and on this shelf that I'm about to look at, this one here, you can find one of the possible spawn locations.
Also, there was a thing which received a
Spawn location.
On location.
Okay.
lot of attention, which was Disney fans bringing reborn therapy dolls to the park, which is a life.
Oh my god, this reborn dolls. Okay, so basically it's literally dolls who are made to look identically to infants.
That's creepy, bro.
So like technically these dolls were made for women, even men, who lost an infant to use it as therapy.
Oh.
Like that was the original idea.
Right.
But it became such a like twisted dark thing where during like for example during the pandemic when there was like a shortage of baby food,
Yeah.
these people were buying like baby food in bulk to quote unquote roleplay feeding their reborn dolls.
Okay, so another of the rotten apple garbage? Yes.
Yes.
Like baby doll that is used for people that may have lost their baby, and is used as a form of therapy and a way to cope getting over the loss.
Yeah.
Which I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's their way of getting over it, and I don't think they're causing anyone harm. But why are these?
Yeah, no, the problem is the reason why people hate other people with reborn dolls, as I said, is because people who are obnoxiously loud and vocal about this are the people who are not actually going through the therapy, not actually going through the loss of a child. It's just them doing that just because it's like their hobby.
Yeah.
Adults such hardcore fans of Disney? Well, some tie it down to simply nostalgia. Disney products were often there during many's childhoods, and constantly reminding themselves with it can reduce stress and remind themselves of those good times when they were younger. And some are the complete opposite. Some are Disney adults because they didn't have a childhood, and places like the parks are opportunities to have that experience now. Apparently some psychologists have looked into this, some listing as a psychological phenomenon, and have added things like the parks are places where they can relive their childhood and then experience a sense of wonder and joy. And some
Okay.
others have added that the environment of Disneyland itself is engineered in a way to
Yeah, but how much wonder and joy can you actually have from like paying $4 for water, like a small bottle of water? I think like my joy starts and ends with $4 for a small bottle of water.
Yeah, nah.
At that point, I'm like full blown back into the adult gear. Like, what the hell are you doing?
immerse you and make you feel that nostalgic feeling, like Disney's Smellerizers, which sounds like something straight out of Phineas and Ferb.
Festival using my Smellinator!
But there are little vents, especially on the main street, that are said to be pumping
About this, yeah. I heard about this. It's like in specific places they use like smells to entice you to eat and stuff like that. That's an actual thing. That's not like even like tinfoil theory. That's an actual thing they do. Like I'm fine with that. It doesn't work on me. Zen is definitely weak towards that.
familiar and soothing smells all around the park. For example, as said, the main street is said to smell like candy floss, marshmallows, and popcorn.
All smells I hate. I'm good. I hate all of it. That is gonna weak towards the popcorn smell. I already know.
I'm not weak to popcorn. That's you.
No.
Honey, I barely eat the popcorn when we go to the movie theater.
Yeah, this was the first time I was actually getting popcorn in movie theaters. I wanted to get my American movie theater experience, and I'm over it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Zen was eating like full-blown dishes. One time it would be pizza, one time it would be nachos. You would have like actual meals there
So what?
while I'm eating popcorn. And I'm the problem.
Don't eat the popcorn, it's stale. The pretzels are good there? Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, that is better than what I would assume would be a high quantity of body odor, pollution, and probably some level of vomit. It's also
Yeah.
said each part of the park is said to be separated and very different, so each part can tell its own contained story, and so people don't get bored. It's to the point where costumed workers cannot leave their areas due to the risk of mixing themes, and there's actually an underground tunnel where they can move between these areas. Workers are also advised not to break character, and there's also a rule about hugging where the costume staff, if hugged by a child, I don't know if this works for adults, but if hugged, the staff must not be the first to pull away until the child pulls away first. And the reason behind this is so they don't feel like their beloved character is pulling away from them. I feel like
Okay.
someone has abused this before and just held on to one of the mascots for dear life. Then there's also the use of colours, like in Main Street where they use warm colours to bring somewhat a nostalgic and welcoming vibe. Another design choice is the queuing system, which apparently is designed in a way so that you can't see the full extent of the queues and lines,
yeah, that's
and they do that
normal.
by hiding it, by breaking your view and avoiding straight lines.
Okay, no, but at the same time, like the system for these queues is also like spacing. It's not only to obstruct the vision how long the queue is, it's also to conserve on space.
So you won't instantly just give up. All of this I find pretty interesting. They go to such lengths just to make sure you're having some level of enjoyment, obviously to keep you in the park spending money and making sure you come back, but I can see why some people are almost addicted to coming to Disneyland multiple times per year, especially with some of the emotional attachment people have to Disney, and Disney itself corporate maxim with like sublimable, I have a speech impediment, subliminal messages that they put into their parks. But outside of people
Subliminal.
Subliminal.
not involved in this community thinking it's cringe when they see an adult expressing their interest on social media regarding Disney, but outside of this, there are some other problems this community faces, especially if you are obsessed with Disney.
What is
Now,
that
some
sound?
problems that Disney adults
I don't
face,
know.
once again outside of online scrutiny, is potential financial difficulties. Yes, visiting Disneyland quite frequently may just get you your own real-life rendition of the Lady and the Tramp. Minus the lady.
I've seen so many videos on people who literally pulled themselves into bankruptcy over Disney.
Yep.
It was bad. Like they were like in debt on debt on debt, and they would like just still take in debt just to go to Disney World. Why? Why are you doing that to yourself?
Because being obsessed with Disney and Disneyland is not cheap. I'm pretty sure there is a financial order episode with some Disney adults on there, which I
Yeah.
watch because it stimulates my brain the same way.
Caleb Hammer, he has, so it's like every third video when they go through like their spending in the past, there'll be a Disney reward card, or like I forget how they're called, Disney reward card, Disney card. It's like every third video, the person who he's advising, they have it.
That's bad. That's in the past, right?
What do you mean in the past?
It's still going?
Yeah,
'Cause, I've only watched a few with you.
yeah, it's still going, of course.
Holy crap.
Cop cams do, and to make myself feel better about my financial mistakes. But the people he invited on his show were paying $2,000 for 2 exclusive passes to Disneyland.
So the passes were $2,000
For the both of us.
For
What?
both of us.
For fucking what? And Mickey and his little mouse? What are we doing?
Well, it was I told myself it'd be my treat for like finishing nursing school.
You don't get treats if you're not paying your fucking bills.
Just to put that in perspective, $2,000 could be half a year of groceries if you're very frugal with it, at least with American prices right now. 8,000 spins on a slot machine, or
Also, I saw that episode like 2 days ago. It was so bad. And like their income was super high.
No.
Yeah, and they were in debt.
2 international flights from America to Japan with return. And keep in mind, this is just an annual pass. This is not permanent. They have to do this every year if they choose to. But there are benefits that come along with this pass. Like free access to the parks, you no longer have to pay admission. You also get to cut a lot of the queues on a lot of the rides. And you also get a discount on the food and merch.
Also, I know there's like a lot of people who are like, oh, Caleb Hammer is like a dick and stuff like that. One thing people need to remember that before they go onto the recording set, they actually can sign the agreement if they are okay with being roasted or if they're not okay with being roasted. Like they completely let people decide if they're okay with it. He's not being like a dick just to like destroy them emotionally. They can literally opt out of it.
Merchandise, which would be a good thing, and that $1,000 per person would make sense if the discounts weren't only 10% off most restaurants and merchandise places. But I guess it makes sense if you're going there regularly, like 6 times a year for multiple days maybe. But only 10% is just awful. But there are more horror stories of Disney adults maybe being a little bit too addicted to Disneyland. This is from an article about the topic, covering probably some of the most addicted Disney fans, and people within this article probably could...
Oh, this reminds me. Disney World tried to do like the whole Disney neighborhood where it's like properties owned by Disney and Disney adults can move in there. I don't know whatever happened to that project. I should probably look.
Be straight up lying. But anyway, one supposed Disney adult said they put off their own son's dentist work so they could afford to go to Disneyland. I'm sorry, bud, if that is true, at that point it's just bad spawn. Poor guy is going to be looking like the stereotype for the British, which is false, by the time he grows up. Obviously, if this was true and a different scenario entirely, like hospital surgery to save his life, I assume they would put off their Disneyland trip to pay for that. Not just say, sorry son, those tumours in your head the size of golf balls that make you look like an organic hidden Mickey? We can't remove them because we're going to Disneyland. Anyway, see you later. Obviously, they wouldn't do that, right? Right? The same article also serves up the statistic that 18% of Disney park goers go into debt just to fund their trip to Disney, which is a terrible statistic, and it also talks about a couple that went to Disneyland 2,995 days in a row. They went to Disney every day for 8 years, which I think is complete bullshit. I'm sorry, but at that point there must be no excitement left. You know the map, you know the spawns, you probably know everybody there, and I understand addictions come in many forms, but I just don't understand 8 years in a row daily to the same place. Just to fund that, they must have lived locally and worked just to go to Disney on the night or something. But that is supposedly how far these Disney adults go to support their infatuation with Disney. But some see it as a problem that they support everything Disney does, no matter how good or bad it is.
I just don't get it. I don't get this like pure fascination with Disney, especially with like seeing everything that they're doing and like how they're treating people. Like the whole story with the wife that passed away from a food allergy, that which they clarified, and then they
Disregarded.
disregarded it and they brushed it off that, well, you accepted to watch Disney Plus, you accepted the free trial, so we're not liable because you used Disney Plus to watch a show a while back. I don't understand like being fascinated and in love with a company like that.
It's not fascinated. It's obsession, honey.
I just don't get it.
It's the next step up.
For example, some of the latest Disney movies, and some of them being arguably terrible. Don't worry, I'm not going to make the joke again. But these Disney adults supporting these terrible movies, at least financially, some people believe it will not force Disney to change, and we will see the same quality in movies and series from Disney. I can at least see this point being applied to the Marvel series right.
What?
That looks so
They did him
funny.
dirty.
That looks so funny.
change, and we will see the same quality in movies and series from Disney. I can at least see this point.
Yep,
That's
They-
so funny.
they messed up with his character pretty badly.
Being applied to the Marvel series right now. Previously, every movie used to be a masterpiece, and now it's a hit and a miss every now and again. Deadpool and Wolverine wasn't that bad though, except for that one CGI scene. But I definitely thought Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty good, and I think Star Wars is being treated the same way as Marvel now. Rogue One and the Obi-Wan and Boba Fett series were good. I can't remember any of the other movies, to be honest, and I refuse to believe the 7th onwards exist. But I do see where this critique comes from. People want Disney, and especially the Marvel franchise, to go back to how it was, and holding their wallet hostage is one of the ways to do that. But I don't think Disney adults are seriously the only ones financially supporting them. If they were, they're doing a terrible job at it, because some of their movies are losing millions in the box
Yeah.
office. So probably now is a better time than ever for them to reflect on the quality of their movies.
Clanker is our word. However, you can call us Clankers.
The main critique against Disney adults is just that they are
Okay.
cringe, and adults shouldn't be this
Okay.
infatuated with Disney. But there are Disney-themed fleshlights, just so you know. The image of
I did not need to know that. I lived happily my life without knowing that.
Bro, I'll tell you, I hate you, bro. You had to say things like that. My video was going good, and then you say shit like that. Bro, come on, man. Ah.
Mike Wazowski tube-shaped is still burned into my memory.
Why Mike Wazowski?
What they did to Meta was even worse. But anyway,
I don't want to know. Why?
yeah, a lot of people make fun of Disney adults online. It is a theme on some platforms to impersonate them, and some unironic ones have turned off their comments due to all the flack they got, and people not saying the nicest of things. But hey, as long as you aren't harming anyone or shoving your obsession down other people's throats, financially making yourself bankrupt, and I don't know, neglecting your children, then you're fine to like whatever you want. Personally, I've moved on to making fun of the Hearts of Iron players. They're all femboys, and some cried like little bitches when they added the No Step Back expansion. You can enjoy most things like Disney at any age. Disney millennials or adults exist, and they're just probably trying to relive their childhood. Yes, some are a bit obsessed, but most aren't harming anyone, and they aren't hogging the theme park from your kids. Like I saw online, they're all trying to have fun, not rob kids of theirs. But I will say Disney needs to make better movies, but then again, the live action of How to Train Your Dragon is dropping soon, which is a series I hold near and dear to my heart, and I fear I may be sorely disappointed. The Burger King meal apparently isn't that bad as
There was a Burger King meal of How to Train Your Dragon. Not gonna lie, Loki kind of looks fire.
It looks bad.
Okay, for me, everything edible seems fire. I haven't felt the feeling of chewing in over a month. This is my 2nd month that I haven't chewed anything. Anything that looks like I can chew looks fire. Your foot right now looks fire. I'm drooling over here.
You like feet?
I'm not repeating the whole thing again.
well, but it is Burger King, so you do need poison resistance if you are dining there. But yeah, that's all I had to say, and bye-bye.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, we're going to Disneyland for the first time in a few months because my niece really wants to go.
In a few months. It's kind of long. Like half a year.
Oh yeah. So we're going like at the end of autumn. I don't know what to expect. I hope it's gonna go well. I hope I'm gonna enjoy it. I hope the crowds are not gonna be too much. Even saying that, I know it's not realistic, but I'm gonna just try to make the best of it. We're just going there for the kid.
Yeah. Fly high. Check it. Spread my wings high, reach the sky. Feathers in the wind, never asking why. I'm a bird, motherfucker, I'm a bird. Soaring high, yeah, that's the word. Flying free like you never heard.